people. It's been a while. I've been on vacation. I had COVID, but now I'm back doing my favorite thing, talking about plants on the internet. And you have to listen. Sorry. Welcome back to Plantivalo. I finally decided on a name. The other videos were pre-recorded and at that time I didn't have a name, but I finally decided on Plantivalo. I think it's catchy, I think it's cute, and I think it's me. So, did I just call myself cute? Yes, maybe. Welcome back to the series Plant Observed, with a plant that I didn't think would make it that fast into this series, because I just got it a few months back at the beginning of the year. I think I bought it in March, and that's why it is in an ugly plastic pot, because I like to pamper my plants at first, put them in ugly but spacious pots. And then I put them in a special tent where they get lots and lots of light, lots of attention, and get watered regularly. And yeah, when I bought this plant, it was it came in the mail, and it was super sad looking, or the leaves were droopy. There weren't many leaves to begin with, and I thought, okay, she will be fine because she has bulbs. So yeah, it can store some water in the bulbs, but I did not expect her to explode like this. So the plant I am talking about is Ledebouria Socialis. In 1896 it was first named Scilla Socialis, and then in 1970 it was transferred from the species Scilla to Ledebouria. This plant usually is green. I have here the variegated version, which I will talk about in a minute, but the green version also has these dots on the leaves. I will insert some pictures somewhere. And due to these very variable leaves, it was also first named Ledebouria violacea. And because of this variable leaf color and leaf spotting, it was independently named Ledebouria violacea in 1989, because this person thought that this was another species, although this was just a very popular cultivar in cultivation, and then afterwards it was discovered that this is in fact the same species and just with different leaf spotting. So basically what we are talking about in the end is Ledebouria Socialis. So all these different names, Ledebouria violacea, Ledebouria Socialis, and Scilla violacea and Scilla Socialis, they are all the same species in the end. So this plant is endemic to the Eastern Cape of South Africa, and is densely gregarious, meaning that it grows in dense colonies. As you can also see here, this is not only one plant, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think, bulbs, and they form these colonies by producing side shoots, which then themselves form little bulbs, which then grow to maturity. This species produces above ground bulbs, which you can clearly see, and only the roots are emerged in the substrate. And it is believed that this is an adaptation to shallow substrate where the plant comes from. So you only have a thin layer of substrate and mostly also very loose gravel or something like that. So where it would be basically impossible to form a bulb underground and also a root system. So the plant solved this problem by just producing the bulb above the ground and putting the root system underneath. This species blooms in early summer, which in South Africa is somewhere around October, November. But for us, it is of course April, May. Right now we have the beginning of May, and this plant is almost done blooming. That's why I had to put out this video right now, because maybe in a week or so it will be done blooming completely. And I wouldn't want you to miss this spectacle of a blooming show that this plant put out for me. So because it is blooming in our true spring, I believe that this, I think it's a clone. I don't think that this is grown from seed. That this clone is grown in cultivation already for a long time, so it adapted to our spring and our seasons here in the Northern Hemisphere. As you might know, I'm from Germany, so in the Northern Hemisphere, spring is around April and May. Normally, this plant has, I would say, not very interesting flowers. They are greenish, they have pinkish stems and green-white stripes, which might be interesting for some, but I personally do not like green flowers at all. I think they have their space and their place, but I don't like them. But to each their own. But because this is a variegated plant, it puts out completely white flowers. They look like albino flowers because only the stamens and the inside of the flower is completely, I would say, dark violet. And the flower petals themselves are completely white, which forms a really beautiful contrast. They look like alien flowers to me, like they are not from this world, and although they are very petite, they form these really long, nice clusters, and it just looks amazing. And even if this plant is done blooming, it has these gorgeous leaves with these usually white leaf margins, but if you put this plant in intense sunlight, you can see that the white areas get flushed with anthocyanins, and then they get this pink hue and coloration on the top. And when you turn this plant upside down, you see that these anthocyanins are shining through from the underside of the leaves, which are almost intensely pink to even purple, and this is just amazing. And you also do not lose the characteristic spots on the top of the leaves. They are still present on the green parts of the plant, and it is just a joy to grow. It produces multiple side shoots, which then form these side bulbs, and I didn't have any problems with this plant. It can take longer periods of drought without any problem, because as I said, it has these above ground bulbs, and it probably stores lots and lots of water in these bulbs. I didn't have it for a full growing season, but what I can tell you and what I read on the internet is that it likes to be a little bit drier in the wintertime. If you let it dry out completely in the wintertime, it will lose its leaves. If you like to keep them, this plant should not dry out completely, because this is a sign for the plant, okay, I'm in a dry period, I should lose all my leaves to preserve water, because the leaves is where the plant loses most of its water through evaporation and photosynthesis, and if there are no leaves, there are no problems. So basically, takeaway is longer periods of drought are a signal to this plant to lose all of its leaves. If you like to keep them, it should be kept on the drier side, but not dry out completely for longer periods of times. Even if it dries out a little bit, you get some dieback of older leaves. These are the leaves that were there when it came in the mail, but it produces some nice new leaves. I believe that when this plant is done flowering for this year, it will produce new side shoots although I already see a new side shoot, and then new bulbs which will then mature over time, and then these side shoots will flower next spring, I believe. Maybe this plant is a little bit confused, aren't we all? Because in my tent I have a light schedule of 12 hours and 12 hours darkness, and this might be too much of a signal for this plant to keep on flowering and kind of producing new side shoots which will then keep on flowering all the time. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe not. Maybe I will divide this plant, maybe I will take one side shoot off and do some experiments, put the other one in natural lighting, because in the summertime you have of course longer days, longer than 12 hours, and the other one I will keep in the tent with a lighting schedule of 12 hours and see, is there a difference, is there not? Maybe I can get this plant to flower multiple times a year, which would be crazy to me, but let's see. And then I'm thinking about, maybe you can also do this with other Scillas, although this is not a Scilla, this is a Ledebouria, but they are probably related, aren't they? Well, anyways, this plant makes a little bit of a mess when it is losing its old flowers, but it's not crazy, it's just a little bit of mess. But yeah, it's a really nice plant, has everything you want in a plant. It's kind of succulent because you have these bulbs, and when the bulbs are young they have the same coloration as the underside of the leaves, which is a really nice dark intense pink. As the bulb gets older, it gets these brown sheaths, probably to protect it from losing too much moisture from evaporation. Other than that, it's looking really beautiful, and the growth habit is really nice. It's not too big, it's not too small. These clumps are just looking gorgeous. It's probably really easy to propagate it because you just take these side bulbs and tear them apart, so you have a new plant. But yeah, really nice plant. It was really cheap, I think under 10 euros or something like that, and although it was extremely stressed when it came in the mail, it came bare root. I planted it and it took off immediately, started blooming, and I really love this plant. You can probably really nicely integrate it in some staging pots, including some rocks, some cacti. No, maybe cacti, I like it a little bit more on the drier side, but maybe combined with some other succulents. I might experiment a little bit with staging with multiple plants in one pot, but yeah, let's see how this goes. So yeah, that was it for this video. I hope you liked this plant observed with Ledebouria Socialis, a really nice plant. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to this channel if you like similar content. I put out videos every single week, and I make similar videos talking about my favorite plants, my experience with them, and how they do in my care and in my collection. So if you like these videos, please subscribe to this channel, and I hope I will see you in the next one. See you. Bye. Or maybe I should say my name. Say my name, say my name. Plantevalla. The other video, February, February.